Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. First of all, we're really excited about playing in the Arizona Bowl. I know our players and coaches are really excited. We've had a great experience in Tucson. Appreciate the people of the Bowl committee. They stage a great event. We're playing a very, very capable, excellent opponent. I encourage our fans to make some travel plans to go down to Tucson during the holidays. It's a great spot. The weather will be super. We've had great attendance in the past. And so do we have technical difficulties?
We're good.
I guess we're good. I don't know if I need to start again, but I won't. But anyhow, I want to say, our fans really ought to encourage going down to it's, I think, the making of a great ball game. We started our season off strong. We need to finish stronger. I think we're playing some of our best football right now. We are healthy with the exception of Caden Barnett. He's got surgery, so he will not be playing this game. But all the other players that we're counting on are practicing right now. In today's world, you hear a lot of different players coming and going, but thus far, all the players who we're counting on are practicing or planning to play. Toledo, as I said, is an excellent football team. They're 11-2. I know they lost a close game against Illinois at the beginning of the year, and then they lost their conference championship against a team who had beaten. Coach Candle enjoys an excellent national reputation. So we're playing a really good opponent, and we're a good opponent as well. We're a good football team. So really excited about the makeup of this game. Our players have engaged practices with a great deal of energy. It's still a ways away, but we thought it'd be appropriate to have a press conference today. So questions? Yes, Ryan.
What have your emotions been like since you made your decision
Yeah.
and kind of reflecting and then looking ahead to your last
Sure.
game?
I appreciate you saying that. It's a great question. One of the things that coaches do, we live in the moment. It's about the team. I had a great mentor for me that, he wrote his last game in on a high level. And so that's been my focus personally. Maybe there'll be some different feelings I have once we get down there. I have really enjoyed coaching this football team from start and now to the finish. And so this is about the team, the team, the team.
Greg, how much different does this this Toledo team look like without Finn under center? And what can you say about this Penny Boone kid? He's pretty good back.
Yeah, they're an excellent football team. They're well stocked. They're well positioned. They have a lot of good football players on their team. We've watched extensive amount of game tape in all three phases. It's going to take our best effort to beat them.
Greg, what's the kind of the early scouting report on Tucker Gleason, the backup that'll probably start?
Well, we watched some tape of him, and he's very, very capable. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's got a live arm. He's a big, strong guy who runs well and operates their offense well. I went through the games that he played. They were down against Western Michigan, and he led a great charge to come back. It was a really effective job that he had done. And so he's played some, not as much as their other quarterback, but he's an excellent quarterback.
Greg, Jay Norvell down at CSU was quoted today as saying his quarterback was offered $600,000 to leave, and their top 12 players are getting offers from other programs. Are you seeing that kind of stuff here?
You know what? There are some things that go by. I have not really focused on that, Cody. I think it's a legitimate question. The lay of the land of college football is changing. We all recognize that. Sometimes some figures may or may not be inflated simply because you're not dealing in a regulated market like the National Football League. But I can't comment on other programs. I just know, as I said earlier, every player that is practicing right now is giving me indications they're going to play in the game.
Craig, two-parter, I guess, who fills in for Caden, and also, Andrew Peasley's been in college football for over half the time you've been at Wyoming. What's it been like to have him as kind of your final
First of all,
quarterback?
Jack Walsh will start at that tackle position, and we've worked him there. It's been really, really a comfort for me to work with Andrew. He's a mature guy. He's a father, husband. He takes the game really seriously. He's an ultra competitive guy. I think he's gotten better. He's worked our offense well. And he takes ownership when he does make a mistake. You guys have probably seen he does not deflect any of the maybe the blame that goes around. He assumes it, and that's a sign of a great leader. And it gives me a real sense. I know this is the night before the game. I'm going to go to sleep well, knowing that Andrew's going to do a great job leading our offense.
Craig, have you had any weird moments in the last week where you're like maybe clearing something out of your office or saying goodbye to somebody?
I appreciate you guys bringing it up, and I'm going to I sound like a broken record. This is about the team. And I'm well schooled enough. This was a well thought out decision that I made. And so as a result, you live in the moment. And, I think it'd be a misstep to this football team if I think about my feelings. It's about them. Other questions? Do we have one up here? I think there's one up there. Yeah.
I haven't done it with the mic yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said that you've been playing the best, especially at the end of the season, some of the best football that y'all have played. How do you carry that over in kind of this this off time?
Well, you know what? One of the things that was helpful for me, as I said earlier, the years when I was at Nebraska, we typically played in these bowl games that were later in the year. And then my experience at the last school, the national championship was usually on the 4th or the 5th of January, and so you had a lengthy amount of time. This is our third Arizona Bowl, and so we've mixed some practices in on the front end and sprinkled in some activities just to keep our swords sharp. But we'd be remiss if we'd make a misstep if it'd be, bull in the ring, which is illegal anyhow. But I mean, just going out and practicing every day for 24 periods in full pads. I think there's a balance that we strike, and we're in the midst of that. Today's the last day of finals, graduations. Tomorrow we have several guys that are walking. And so we've made some accommodations for our practices and some of these activities. And I feel comfortable and confident in our plan. And so we'll get a great deal of our work done here, and then when we get down to Tucson, we'll brush some things off and have some, a couple of robust practices and get ready to play on game day.
So last year in Tucson, Craig, some guys had trouble getting to Arizona. Did you guys do anything to switch anything
I would
up?
say not some. It was I know Nick Fulton, our DFO, is stressing right now, and I don't know what all occurred, but it was chaotic, to say the least. We felt like it was important to give our players an opportunity to go home for Christmas. I know some programs will keep their guys on campus during this time, but you know what, there's a balance that you run into, and so we've scheduled the flights. We'll have our charter leave out of here, and then we'll have guys come from all parts of the country. We'll play for good weather and make sure that we have enough air traffic controllers out there.
Craig, being here for 10 years, I think you really stabilized this program. Obviously, you guys had to recalibrate in 21 with the new rules and everything. How much pride do you take in, compared to a lot of places around the country, with Jay taking over with the recruiting, with a lack of names in the portal, the way you're leaving it relatively stable in this environment?
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Ryan, as far as stability, because that's something that Cowboy football has lacked. It was something that there was an initiative 10 years ago that was going to be important for us to roll up our sleeves and have a partnership moving forward. That's not to say there's not going to be change. There's change that has gone on here during our time, but there's a real sense of comfort and pride that I feel personally that this place is on really solid ground, that we have a really good infrastructure. We're graduating our players. They're getting bigger, stronger, and faster. We've been able to play a competitive schedule. And the fact that you don't have a mass exodus right now, and I've kind of been mindful of our recruiting process. We put a hard amount of thought and effort into this class, and for them to stay pretty stabilized, I think, is an indication of stability here. And so, it's kind of like you replace one guy. I always joke with all our support people around here. I said, you put your hand in a bucket of water and take it out. That's how long you're going to be missed, and that's how Craig Bohl is going to be missed.
I think Cody's kind of been the one that said it, but this idea of a one last ride, not only for yourself but for the seniors on the team. Do you think it's brought a unit that's already pretty close, even closer going into
You
this
know,
final game?
I would think so to a certain degree, but these players are in the moment and coaches are in the moment. I can tell you that the chemistry of this group has been outstanding. You know, I talked to our coaching staff that right now we're sitting with 8 wins. I think the pundits that are out here would have to say was probably one of the most challenging schedules that we've had. We have 8 wins. The last time we won 8 games, that squad was comprised of a whole lot of guys who played in the NFL. A whole lot of guys who played in the NFL, and just not for a cup of coffee, but some of them are still playing. This squad, I don't know if has as much collective talent as that team, and yet we've won 8 games. So as a coaching staff, you look and say, okay, why? It wasn't a soft schedule. It wasn't. We didn't have some challenges. So I think collectively, they had a bad taste in their mouth how the last season ended, and they came together. There's a great deal of ownership within this group, and particularly our older players have been bought in and have encouraged the younger players. And that's one of the things too that gives me a real sense of comfort. And I know Coach Sauvel, that I really believe our program is doing this. And so we got one more game before the 2023 season's over, and we're looking forward to playing Toledo.
Craig, Harrison has a couple big games against Toledo during his time in the MAC. I think the last one in 2022, he had 10 catches. How important is he going to be in the game plan?
Well, he's always going to be an important part. He has the ability to, every time he touches the ball, to put it in the end zone because of his speed and his effectiveness as a runner and a pass catcher. You know, we have other weapons as well. And so he's going to need to play well. I told him the other day when I watched practice, I think he's probably moving as well as what he's moved since before surgery. And, you know, I told him this too. One of the things, my eyes they're really sharp. You know, when I watch practice, I've got it's going to sound arrogant, but I got a really good calibration. And when I see a guy moving, and he said, Coach, I feel as good as I've ever felt. And so we're excited about that. It's going to be important for him to play. The guys block up front need to play well for him, for our team. And he's a team guy. And so we're excited about not only he, but I think you guys could recognize this is not 2 yards, 3 yards in a cloud of dust up front. There's weapons that we do have that we have not had, and we'll need to access them. Other questions? Okay, I was concerned that Dennis was going to take the mic.
Yeah, it's a pretty special final game for the seniors, but will some of the guys who are going to have to step up and make bigger roles next year see some playing time?
Well, they certainly will, and we've been utilizing that playing time or practice time with some of our younger players as well, and that's one of the benefits of playing in a bowl game, and that's also a benefit of playing a game later in the year. That they get some real quality reps. But there's no question, collectively, not only we have an experienced team with some older players who are going to be playing in their last ball game, but there's younger guys there's too many to count, but there's a bunch of them, which is why I feel like, you know, I don't know where this football team's going to be picked next year, but I think it should be picked pretty doggone high because there's enough weapons coming back that they can really make a statement next year, and those guys that are going to be coming back need to play well in this game. Okay, anything else?
Guys, we got time for a couple questions online here. Go ahead, Jenna.
Sorry. Hey, Coach, Jennifer from KVOA down in Tucson. Second year that you're playing in the Arizona Bowl, just your thoughts on being back down here in Tucson.
Well, it's when I heard we got selected, I was certainly excited. You know, I think the Arizona Bowl does a phenomenal job, and I'm not saying I've coached in every one of them, but I've been in a whole lot of them at a lot of different levels. And the community of Tucson embraces this bowl game. The staging of the events, everything from accommodations to practice sites to game day venue is top shelf. And so our players are excited. We're excited about it, and Tucson's a great spot. And like I said, I'm in hopes that The governor is going to need to call out the National Guard because the last person that leaves the state needs to turn the lights out because we're all moving south on the 30th.
Michael, go ahead.
Hey there, Coach. I know you said that you wanted to keep the focus on the team and not on the decision that you made, but I have a question for you that sort of touches on that I hope you'll be willing to respond to. I've heard a lot of people in this industry or around it say that the changes that have taken place in college sports in recent years will drive some coaches out of the business. NIL, transfer portal, crazy schedule, 365 nature of the job. Was that in any way a factor in the decision that you made?
No, it's not. And I want to debunk that narrative because not only myself, but some of the other coaches that I'm dear friends with who are continuing to coach, who've coached a long time. I mean, I don't think college football, we're all evolving. I mean, it's evolved from, when I first started coaching, and if there were less than two backs in the backfield without a fullback, you thought it was an illegal formation. I mean, things have changed through the years, and we've adapted. I've adapted. We have a game that is more popular than it's ever been. TV ratings are through the roof. Attendance is at an all-time high here. I do have some concerns about as we move forward, and I echoed those in my press conference, that I'm concerned that we're losing some of the scholastic model. I'd encourage our presidents to really get involved, but that had no bearing on me exiting. I feel like our football team's in good place. And I had a great mentor, like I said. Coach Osborne stepped down. We won the national championship and beat Tennessee, and they had Peyton Manning and a whole bunch of other guys. And very few coaches leave on their terms, and it was a great model for me. So that was my decision. Our game is changing. There's challenges, but that's not why I made the decision. Fair question. I hope I answered that for you.